Judgment here. I thought it was time to sit down and make a video for which I was given the idea a long time ago. I'm going to show you a screenshot drawn from YouTube, and it's a screenshot of Schwinn, who founded my Discord, getting his gloves into a video published by Dobrunsky125, and it shows the best rare items that the members of the Discord have found as judged by Dobrunsky himself. I will put the link to that video in the description. I had the idea quite some time ago of making a video about my own crafted and rare items that I use on my own characters. When I was playing Lord of Destruction and not using Pluggy, crafting was an important part of my stream, and my characters did use a number of crafted items. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, these crafted items have become of less importance, and I'll show you the reason why. It's the availability of the Agneyastra Small Charm and the Hellfire Torch. There is the first Sorceress Torch my smiter ever obtained from Uber Tristram, and you can see it as a perfect 2020 Sorceress Torch, which I understand would be of considerable value on Battle.net. I have done about 70 Hellfire Torch runs. That remains the only 2021 I've found, but the odds of finding a 2020 torch of any character or class are 1 in 121, so it's not particularly likely. How does this affect the importance of crafted items? Many of the attributes that you can obtain or wish to obtain from crafted items such as strength, dexterity and resistances can now be obtained from either the Agneyastra Small Charm or the Hellfire Torch, or in this case a combination of both. For this character I have recently respec'd. She was originally a Talrasha set Lightning Sorceress, and I played her through the game using the Talrasha set shortly after I resumed playing Diablo 2 in about February of 2017. You can see she is about halfway between level 96 and 97, so when I respect her back to her Lightning Origins, I did not use the full Talrasha set again. I used the available rune words. I may at some stage in the future put up a video about this character's gear, but I'll point out one piece of good luck I did have. I have only ever made 3 Spirit Monarchs for other characters in my time in D2R. The first one rolled 25 fast cast absolute bottom. The next one rolled 35 fast cast, and you might notice this is the switch weapon because the shield on the main weapon set also rolled 35 fast cast, and that's in a 12% enhanced defense superior monarch. So I thought that was astonishingly lucky on my part. What I'm going to show you here are the crafted items I use on my own characters, and since crafted items can in effect have the same properties as rare items, I will show you the rare items I use on my characters as well. Some of these items are not particularly good in their own right, they just happen to be a good match for the character I am trying to play at that time. An example is this ring here. It has cold and fire resistance, but the main purpose of the fire resistance is to balance the lack of fire resistance on the Spirit Monarch, and similarly the cold resistance is to balance the lack of cold resistance on those boots. She has full resistances, but if I remove the Hellfire Torch and the Agneyastra Charm, you can see that most of the equipment drops out and a lot of the resistances go with it. This video then is devoted to my own best crafted and rare items. I thought I'd start by showing you how I organise my crafted items. With the increased clearing speed of characters in D2R, what I do is I build up a set of recipe constituents to make crafted items. For example, I will show you safety amulets. So each one of these group of 4 consisting of emerald, tholrune, jewel and amulet will go to make a safety amulet. If it's good enough to keep, I place it in a separate character devoted to amulets for that class. There is one for amulets Amazon, assassin and so on. Here's the Amazon one, and I do have, by the way, a spare guide stored in there, and generally speaking rare items are over here more rare items there, +1 to skills crafted items up here, and +2 to skills crafted items here. As a rule, I keep anything with +2 to skills and sort out the mess later on, and every few months I go through all of these characters and delete the lesser amulets. I will show you some of the amulets those storage characters contain later on in this video. Rings I store slightly differently. Since you cannot get class-specific properties on a ring, I store them in the following fashion. We are in Gomiel here, and I'm looking at 2 of 4 rings characters I have. In general, I store unique rings over here. There's a wisp projector. Blue rings of some value I put up the top of the character in that character's stash. Somewhere in the middle we change to leech rings, and down the bottom I put fast cast rings, and that particular one there, for example, has both fast cast and lifesteal. For the moment though, we're going to start by going through each of the characters I have and the crafted and rare items they use. We're going to start in Lord of Destruction with Agneyastra, my fire sorceress. For those of you who followed my stream back in the library days, she was the first character I played through the game on stream, after starting streaming somewhere about October of 2018. I'm not certain she will ever make it into Diablo 2 Resurrected, but she may get there. She carries 2 rare items and 1 crafted one. The first rare item is that piece of jewellery, the Corruption Hold ring. It's not a spectacular ring in its own right, but it does help her maintain breakpoints, and I thought that was a very good ring given that it requires only level 13. The next ring is a better one, the Order Grip ring, also cast rate, but this one now has all resistances 10 and 15 magic find, and a boost to life and a small boost to mana. The amulet, however, is the prize. It's a 220 fast cast amulet for sorceress. I have only created 4 220 amulets in my crafting time, and I'll show you the others in due course. The significance of that amulet is, along with the other cast rate equipment, the Wizard Spike, Mage Fist and the Eracted Mesh, in conjunction with the 2 rings and the amulet, gives her a total fast cast of 130. Now, given that she is a fire sorceress, the nearest significant breakpoint is 105, and it raises the possibility of either replacing the Mage Fists with, say, Chance Guards, or replacing the Eracted Mesh with, say, a Gold Wrap Heavy Belt, which we could upgrade to a Battle Belt. Either of those would improve the magic find, or we could replace the Wizard Spike with Heart of the Oak and try and get the resistances back some other way. And those 3 options show the benefits of somehow creating a 220 fast cast amulet. You are now looking at Bludger, my pit barbarian, still in Lord of Destruction. He was one of 2 characters I played through the game using the Immortal King set many years ago. We then respect him as a Frenzy Barbarian to get him up to level 92, and he started his Magic Find career as a Pit Zerker, but eventually I got somewhat tired of the Pit Zerking style of play and respect him back to be a Frenzy Barb, and he's currently at level 96 and could quite possibly go on to level 97. I'm not certain this character will ever make it into Diablo 2 Resurrected, as I already have twin set the Barbarian to level up to become a Pit Barbarian if necessary, and I still harbour some ambitions of finding Tyrael's Might in Lord of Destruction to complete the Grail quest there. This character uses 1 rare item and 2 crafted ones. The rare item is that one there. Given that we cannot get Barbarian skills on gloves, I was happy with those. Huge increase in defence, 20 attack speed, full magic find, and 2 useful resistances. The amulet is also getting towards what I consider to be amongst the best crafted items I've ever made. 2 to Barbarian skills, 17 fast cast, nearly maximum regenerate mana, and useful boosts to resistances with an additional 19 lightning resistance beyond the plus 15 all resistance mod with which it generated. The last crafted item is this ring. It's an unusual one that has both fast cast and lifesteal, but it also has all resistances 11. That means he has these resistances in hell, not quite maximised but certainly good enough for the pit. I do have a damage set of gear that this character can equip if he wishes to level even further by running Baal or the upper experience areas. The significance of the ring is that on switch, total cast rate is 107, obtained from 2 Heart of the Oak flails for a total of 80 fast cast, another 10 for a total of 90, and the amulet then gives a total overall of 107 fast cast, which neatly passes the 105 fast cast breakpoint that barbarians would like to acquire. Now let's move into Diablo 2 Resurrected. The character you are seeing here is Ermin the Wind Druid, another character whom I originally started in Lord of Destruction and ported across to the new game. What you are seeing here is his pre-patch 2.4 configuration, which produced the following statistics. You will note the 366 magic find and the exact 99 fast cast rate, which is a breakpoint for druids. To enable him to get to that 99 fast cast rate breakpoint, he was using a 10% fast cast all resistance ring and that +2 to druid skills 9 fast cast amulet. Now the amulet itself is not such a spectacular item, but note the resistances on it, cold 34 and lightning 27. Those resistances happen to be a balance too, the fire and poison on the triple-listed Headhunter's Glory that was his shield. His 99% fast cast consists of 40 from Heart of the Oak, 20 from Mage Fists, 20 from the Arachnid Mesh Spiderweb Sash, 10% from the Skull Eye Ring, and the remaining 9 comes from that amulet. I've previously made the point that the availability of the Annihilus Small Charm and the Hellfire Torch means that crafting is not as important because many of the attributes can be acquired from those 2 items. Another factor which affects the use of crafted and rare items is the availability of what were previously ladder-only runewords, and in particular the runeword Spirit. What you are seeing here is Ermin in his post 2.4 patch configuration, and you will note the addition of the Spirit Walls and the Dire Walls, which can now be raised as well as the Grizzly Bear. Adding in that Spirit there with its 34 fast cast means that he can now obtain the same 99 fast cast rate breakpoint by using other gear. So now his statistics and extended statistics look like this, and you will note the small drop in magic find, but I thought that was worth it to gain the extra skills. Post patch 2.4 we have replaced the Magefish Battle Gauntlets with Chance Guard's Vambraces. We've replaced that 10% fast cast all resistance ring with that one there, and note the extra lightning resistance on this ring and also the magic find. It's probably better suited to a melee character, but again it happens to neatly balance what I'm trying to obtain with this character. That 9% fast cast dual resistance amulet has been replaced by this one here. So note the 10% fast cast and in particular the 31% fire resistance. So what I've tried to do with this amulet is compensate for the lack of fire resistance on the Spirit Monarch. You'll notice that his resistances are still maximised, and with battle command and battle orders he has about 4.7k life. This is Merida the Boazon. As I make this video, she is the furthest advance of my characters who are progressing towards level 97. She carries no rare items at all, but does carry 3 crafted items. Those gloves, that amulet, and note the teleport charges, and that ring. And that ring at level 96 and its dual leech was one of the reasons I particularly wanted to get this character to level 96, just so she could use that ring. That is the only mana steal on the character. You might note that the inventory is full, and this is the only character I run with a full inventory, and the purpose there is to simply have her run across quivers of arrows and replenish them up to their maximum value of 500, which has risen from 350 to 500 in patch 2.4. Merida's gear produces these stats, and these advanced stats. I have noted an experience shrine on the way. I have assigned a key to teleport. So the way this character plays is that we run to this area here and teleport the gap. And now we put on a cat's eye for its increased run walk speed. Despite the fact that this amulet has 2 to Amazon skills, the cat's eye with its boosted dexterity does in fact afford a slight margin more damage, but it's a very small amount. And we'll just keep running across those 2 quivers of arrows, and just every time a pack is defeated to keep arrows at a maximum. One advantage of being a mix of physical and cold damage is that all of Baal's last 3 waves can be frozen. So everything but the unique monster can be frozen. Okay, now we're going to go pick up that experience shrine. We have the experience shrine. We're going into battle against Lister's pack, and what you'll notice here is that all of them can be frozen. Now Lister himself is immune to cold, but you'll notice that the mana steal from the ring still keeps the mana ball replenished. Once Lister goes down, it's a relatively easy job to knock down the others. It's just simply a matter of hitting them with freezing arrow, trying to line the minions up if necessary in a straight line, and we are done. Baal we tackle in players 3 mode, and we have no chance of maintaining the experience shrine. Here the teleport amulet can also be used. I'm going with the cat's eye at the moment. Now we want the mercenary to engage for the decrepify to go off. So if we have a few shots at Baal, I hope the clone doesn't come across. Notice despite the fact that Baal has breathed on us, we can easily keep the mana ball replenished. Right, once Baal has been hit by the mercenaries' decrepify from the Reaper's Toll, he should not teleport. Now you'll notice the mana ball and the life ball replenish quite readily, even if we are in range of Baal's breath. And Baal dies. So there's a fairly typical battle against Baal. We have a total of 13% lifesteal with that ring on, and an additional 2 from the amulet should we choose to wear it. This is Morbid the Summoning Necromancer. This character was established in Diablo 2 Resurrected and not imported from Lord of Destruction. He has benefited from the crafting by these 2 items, that ring and that amulet. That produces these stats and these advanced stats. Now let's move on to Nerezza, the Traps Assassin I originally established in Lord of Destruction and ported across to Diablo 2 Resurrected. Her stats look like this, and her advanced stats look like this. in her normal gameplay, she carries this crafted amulet. You'll note again the teleport charges, but in the stash I keep two other amulets. This one for increased magic find, and this one for increased strength, and I'll show you its purpose. Her strength is only 103, and there are occasions in the game where we encounter souls, so I carry with me for use on all characters the Thunder God's Vigor Warbelt. If this character encounters souls, we put on this amulet, which in turn enables us to equip the Thunder God's Vigor Warbelt. She does, however, carry one other piece of crafted equipment, and it's the boots. I made these years ago. These boots have close to maximum stats for a pair of caster boots. They have maximum increase to mana of 20, increase maximum mana can go up to 5%, but regenerate mana is also a maximum at 10%. This is a running character, and the 30% run walk is useful on top of her natural burst of speed, and in addition we have 25 magic find and a small boost to fire resistance. This is Pius the Smiter. Pius was started in Lord of Destruction and levelled up to level 96 as a Zealer with the aim of using the Griswold set. When he became a Smiter, I gave him a Griswold set, but after a while I have re-spec'd him to use other gear, notably the Flesh Ripper Fang knife. The idea of the crafted and rare items here is to try and get as many points into life as possible. When I run this character, I do not run with either a Hellfire torch or an Annihilus charm in the inventory. I would like to show a build that does not rely on already having acquired such valuable items. This ring here gives him a boost to strength and a boost to mana. Running as a smiter means that he does run out of mana, and the boost to strength means he can put additional points into life. He also uses that amulet there in the areas preceding Uber Tristram, and you'll note the teleport charges. Typically 3 of those teleport charges are used on the way to Ijul in the Furnace of Pain. This amulet may become less important because I have brought in Naja's Puzzler to use on Switch for its teleport charges. There is another crafted ring that I have used in the past to replace that ring there, but currently using the Order Spiral ring for its boost in resistances. Let's have a look at Raxka, my Lightning Javazon. Her stats look like this, and her advanced stats look like this. You might notice that I have 28 stat points remaining. That's because at this stage she is still using the Rune Word Sanctuary. It's a 69 out of 70 all resistance shield with boosts to hit recovery and dexterity, and I'm still undecided as to whether I should equip this character with a Spirit Monarch. But were I to do so, the strength of 129 with the additional 28 stat points would give 157, and that would pass the 156 strength requirement for a Monarch. Here are the crafted and rare items she is currently carrying. That Dual Leech ring, that crafted Dual Leech amulet with an additional 10 run walk, and also poison length reduction. I do not play this character as a teleporting character, so the additional run walk is quite useful. Those 220 javelin gloves, which also have an additional 15 magic find. Now gloves are a chance to either find or craft something that considerably improves your character. I have shown you some of Merida the Bozon's gameplay, and here is Raxka the Lightning Javazon with her dual leech equipment. She is carrying 26% lifesteal and 11% mana steal. And what you can see here is that the mana ball rarely drops much below halfway. These final waves are all demon class monsters, so the life and mana steal is relatively effective. She is using Ethereal Titans, which with their enhanced physical damage makes the life and mana steal yet more effective. Here she is against Baal, over here, and you can see the mana ball is hardly dropping at all. Down the years I have crafted a number of sets of gloves, and I'm going to show you some of the alternatives. This is Raxka's temporary character. When I am leveling characters, I often establish a temporary character and swap gear on and off the main character and the temporary one. I'm going to show you some of the items I have used or contemplated using on Raxka the Lightning Jabazon. Those 220 attack speed gloves, note the crushing blow and lifesteal. Those 220 knockback gloves, only 8 magic find. This set of gloves here I used while leveling Raxka, and I rate these amongst the finest crafted items I've ever created. Apart from the 220 Amazon skills, they have maximum crushing blow and maximum lifesteal from the formula. They only have 12 out of 20 for life, but they do have an additional 22 lightning resistance. Here are probably the finest set of rare gloves I've ever found. 220 for javelin skills and 3% each, mana and lifesteal. 3% is the maximum that rare gloves can get for both life and mana steal. There is another dual leech ring requiring level 87, but this one has 10% lifesteal and 4% mana steal. This is the temporary character for Merida the Boazon. Gloves of interest here are those 220 attack speed gloves with a boost to lightning resistance, and that set of 220 Boazon gloves with 6% crushing blow and 3% lifesteal. The effectiveness of the crushing blow is minimised by crushing blow being reduced on ranged attackers. We are going to return to Shockalot now. In the introduction I showed you that ring which provides resistance balance, and those tri-res boots. Those are the only two crafted or rare items that this character currently uses. Her stats look like this, and her advanced stats look like this. 275 magic find is relatively small for a sorceress, but I'm trying to get this character to level 97. As usual, I have saved a lot of stat points, but I cannot see any reason other than to put those into vitality. I'm just going to show you here some of the items she was using before she was respec'd to equip her current gear. There is a 10% fast cast all resistance ring, but note in particular the boost to mana. There is a 10% fast cast all resistance ring with increased resistances for cold and fire. And there is a ring containing both fast cast and lifesteal, and probably better suited to a melee character. So she used 2 of these to maintain cast rate breakpoints until she was given her current set of gear. We are now looking at Sigma, my level 98 Bone Necromancer. His stats look like this, and his advanced stats look like this. This character's been respec'd a number of times, and this was a character I started originally in 2003. You'll note there the 281 magic find. I've had that as high as over 500 on Switch using a double-listed Blade of Alibaba. You will also note the 130 fast cast. I played for many years with this character using just a wizard spike for fast cast. When I transferred this character to D2R, I was able to give him Heart of the Oak, and again in combination with the Hellfire Torch and the Annihila's Small Charm, he now runs full resistances in Hell level. To get past the 125 fast cast breakpoint and 130, he uses 3 rare and crafted items. First of all, that ring, which I have had for many years. Secondly, this helm. I have a character devoted to such helms. I've never found anything really spectacular, but I thought that was a good enough helm to warrant respecing him to try and get him past the 125 breakpoint. And there is a crafted 220 fast cast amulet for Necromancer. In the stash I carry another 220 fast cast amulet for Necromancer, but that one there is clearly the better of the two. This is Smiple the Hammerden, who is also on the journey from level 96 to level 97. I'm going to show you just the gear, and this is something like what he had back in Lord of Destruction. The features to note here are the 2 +4 to strength combat skillers, and the rare and crafted items on this character are that amulet, and in particular this ring. You can see here that his strength has not moved beyond its base value of 25. So back in Lord of Destruction times, this character would do the following. Come into a game with base strength 25, get to 33 by virtue of the 2 skillers, would get to 53 by virtue of that ring, get to 55 by virtue of the Harlequin Crest Shako, and then once he reached 55 he could then equip the Mage Plate, and that would give him all the extra strength necessary to equip the rest of the gear. So even in Lord of Destruction days, this character did not need to put a single hard point into strength. You might notice here that the cast rate is 97. Now the break point is 75, so he's comfortably over that, and in Lord of Destruction days his gear was slightly different, and my memory of it is that he had a fast cast rate of 80. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, his gear now looks like this. I've added in the Hellfire Torch and the Annihilus Small Charm, but the Herald of Zakarum Gilded Shield has been changed to a Spirit Zakarum Shield. Now it only rolled with 31 fast cast. Now his stats look like this, and his advanced stats look like this. By virtue of the extra 7 provided by that amulet, his cast rate is now 128, and we have just passed the 125% fast cast rate breakpoint for paladins. I have returned to the storage characters, and what I'm going to show you here are a series of amulets that weren't quite good enough to make it onto the characters. This is my storage character for Amazon amulets. The only Amazon amulet I thought worth denoting was this one here, and only that one really because of its rather large magic find. You can get 35 on a blue amulet, but this one has an increased chance of blocking and a boost to mana. Here are 2 assassin amulets that may be useful if I ever choose to play an assassin. +2 to skills, 84 to mana, all resistance is 20, and this is the 4th of the 220 fast cast amulets I've created down the years. I've already shown you 2 for Necromancer and 1 for Sorceress. This is the 4th one, a 220 fast cast amulet for Assassins. Here are 3 Barbarian amulets. I picked this one out mostly because of the increased block, the boost to dexterity and the boost to mana, and presumably that could find some use on a melee style Barbarian using a shield. I picked this one out because it has both maximum run walk and maximum lifesteal, but you'll note the high level requirement of 95, and one that almost made the grade as a 220 fast cast amulet. There is a 1 to Barbarian skills, 20 fast cast amulet. I have had a look at the Druid amulets, and I didn't think there was anything there worth showing people. I have already shown you 2 220 fast cast amulets for Necromancer, and I thought I'd show you one rare amulet in particular. This amulet I gambled in September 2004, and it was the mainstay on my Bonemancer Sigma for many years. It's not such a spectacular amulet on its own, but given that I gambled it, that amulet I used for years before eventually I was able to replace it with the 220 fast cast amulet you have already seen. There are 2 Paladin amulets I would like to show you. This one here with 9 increased block and a dual leech amulet, but this amulet here I rate amongst the best crafted items I've ever made. 2 to skills, 7 increased block, boost to life, big boost to mana, all resistance is 15. This is an amulet that could displace the one that Pius the Smiter is currently using, and the reason why I have not done that is I consider this to be too good to call part of a low level build. With the 7 increased block, that would give him the chance to take points from dexterity and put them into life, and possibly displace some of the other resistance charms he currently carries. Amongst the Sorceress amulets, I thought I'd show you another near miss, along with the 1 to Barber skills 20 fast cast amulet I showed you before. It's this one here, 2 to Fire skills 20 fast cast, and useful boosts to each resistance, and also the maximum mana regeneration of 10%. The level requirement is only 53, but in my opinion that could possibly find a place on a much higher level build. Let's move on to some rings. The rings I'm going to show you here will feature a number of level 96 rings, even though they may not be particularly good rings. Here are 2 of them, that one there and that one there. And I would remind you that I have a level 96 ring on one of the Amazon characters, and I've already stated that I played her up to level 96 specifically to use a level 96 ring. Here is another dual leech ring, but this one here requires only level 88. If you can call level 88 a low level. You'll note the 5 mana steal, 8 life steal. This is a level 96 ring, and it has much less life steal, but a boost in magic find and a sizable boost to mana. I thought I would show people this ring purely because of the life steal. This has generated the 3% from the crafting formula plus another 8 randomly generated, and my understanding is that that is the maximum life steal that can be obtained on a ring. One last unusual ring. I've already shown you a fast cast life leech ring on Bludger the Barbarian back in Lord of Destruction. Here is another one. Now this may be a more usable ring and may finish up on twin set if I ever convert him to being the same style of play as Bludger, that is, a frenzy barbarian running the pit. Like the preceding ring, this one also has the maximum 11% lifesteal, but it also has 10 fast cast and a useful boost to lightning resistance. Along with amulets and rings that didn't quite make it on to the main characters, I thought I would show you some gloves that fall into the same category. Here is a pair of 220 Boazon gloves, and to me the surprising stat about this particular pair of gloves is that they require only level 35. Here are another pair of 220 Amazon gloves, again only requiring level 35, and I have to say while I'm here, one feature I wish they would change in Diablo 2 Resurrected is to allow half freeze duration to stack. I think it would give some versatility to builds if you could have 2 lots of half freeze duration and generate the valuable mod cannot be frozen. A third pair of Amazon 220 gloves, and again only requiring level 35 to equip them. I only have the one high level assassin, Nerezza the Traps Assassin. As I speak, it is August 2022, and the most likely character I can think of to start anew is a martial arts assassin. I'm going to show you some gloves that could go on such a character. There are 220 martial arts gloves for assassin, and again note the relatively low level requirement of 35. Here are some crafted gloves. These have a higher level of 57, but they do have 10% crushing blow. Here are another pair of 220 martial arts assassin gloves, a rare pair of martial arts attack speed gloves, and another pair of 220 assassin gloves. Now I personally don't understand why this set of gloves requires only level 35, but this pair of gloves requires level 72, even though they are in a higher level base. These gloves could be upgraded once to battle gauntlets with a strength requirement of 88, and again to Crusader gauntlets with a strength requirement of 151. A quick comment on the level requirements of crafted and rare items. Rare items can be equipped at a much lower level than crafted items. A +1 to skills rare amulet can be equipped as low as level 27. A +2 to skills amulet can be equipped as low as level 67. For a +1 to skills crafted amulet, it appears the minimum level requirement is 49, and the minimum requirement for a +2 to skills crafted amulet is level 89. However, things can get out of hand. I'm going to show you a crafted pair of gloves from my stream on the 12th of February 2022. You can see here the requirement is level 98. I was surprised at the time, and I still cannot see what combination of mods requires level 98. It's time to finish this video, and amongst all the rare and crafted items I've shown you on my various characters, there's still some place for magic items. I'm going to show you the two that I still use apart from things like felicitous rings of fortune. This is Ermin the Wind Druid. I still use a magic item on this character, and it's that ring there. And you can see that helps maintain his resistances at a maximum. The other character that still uses a magic item is Morbid the Summoning Necromancer, and it's this ring here. You can see this makes a healthy contribution to his resistances in hell level, and is also part of his cast rate, consisting of the 10 there, 20 there, 10 there for a total of 40, and then another 10 to get a total of 50. It's to teleport around using Enigma. That is all of my best crafted and rare items that I've collected down the years. I will continue to craft items on stream, and I will continue to identify rare items in the hope that I will one day find or craft yet another item that will improve one of my characters.